Hey guys, happy early Tuesday morning, May 21st. Recently, someone who slips me videos and all kinds of things periodically sent along 2 YouTube short videos of the pastor of New Testament Christian Church in Portland, Oregon. His last name is Everett. And when I first heard it, I just sat there stunned. Then I listened to it again and I thought, how unloving, how unpastor-like. I was thinking to myself, what is this guy trying to convey to those who come across it? So let's listen to it first and maybe we can figure it out together.
That clears it up. You're trying to figure out if you're going to heaven or not? You're not going to heaven if you need somebody. You're concerned if somebody's going to see you from the church. You with me? I'm just going to drive it all the way home. Not to confuse anybody. Because God sees everything. There's no fear of God before your eyes. Again, we need Jesus in our homes again. That means we got to do it with character. Doing what's right when nobody's looking. It shouldn't matter who sees you at Walmart. Some of y'all, you need the pastor to hold your hand to do right. You're not saved. You hear me? You always say, well, I wasn't pastor. Let me make sure you're not saved. You listening? I'm going to say it one more time. If you need the pastor to hold your hand, you're not saved.
Well, was that inspiring? Is that a message, even though it's just a small little clip from a service? You can listen to the rest of it if you choose. I would advise against it. Is this the type of thing that people hear and say, you have to come hear this man? He is imparting the words of life, and he is, I'm touched, and I want to know more about Jesus. I don't think so. Let's listen to it again and break it down.
That clears it up. You're trying to figure out if you're going to heaven or not? You're not going to heaven if you need somebody. You're concerned if somebody's going to see you from the church.
This is a mouthful of nonsense and ungodly, unbiblical. How does this guy get up there and have the gall? And remember, he chose this portion of the script of his service to put up on YouTube. Why? Why did he choose this part? Did he choose it because he thinks possibly people are going to see it and say, oh, he's preaching what we need for our time. He's telling it straight. Because that's an NTCC-ism, to think that about themselves, to think when they are unlovely and unbiblical that they're just preaching the gospel straight, because absolutely they're taking the words from the Bible they believe in. So, has to be of God no matter how they present it, right?
That clears it up. You're trying to figure out if you're going to heaven or not? You're not going to heaven if you need somebody. You're concerned if somebody's going to see you from the church.
This blows my mind hole. You talk about trying to manipulate people. Did anyone sit there, I hope, and say, where is that in the Bible? If you don't want anybody from the church to see you, that means you're not saved. It's works-based. It's manipulating people. It's manipulating what they do, where they go, how they go there, what they look like when they're there, how they behave when they see someone from the church. You're not going to heaven if you believe, again, this is all about the Bible they believe, right? There's nothing in there that says, if you're embarrassed, you know what? Maybe you're embarrassed to see the people from the church because they're embarrassing. Maybe that's why. Maybe you don't want to be associated with people that ambush others to try to get them to church in the frozen food aisle. Maybe that's why they don't even consider that. Maybe you're overbearing and pushy to get people to come to your church because you have to coerce and you have to manipulate because you don't have the words of life that you purport to have. Because if you did, according to the Bible, was Jesus out there knocking on doors? No, they came to him to hear him. They came to his disciples, to his apostles, right? That's what they did. Even if they walked into a city and they went in somewhere, people were drawn to it. That's what we read in the book they say they believe. But they don't do it according to that. They don't follow the model. They follow the Jehovah's Witnesses model. That's the one they like. And go knock on people's doors and annoy them and shove cards in their faces. Let's see what else this guy says.
You with me? I'm just going to drive it all the way home. Not to confuse anybody. Because God sees everything. There's no fear of God before your eyes. Again?
There's no fear of God before your eyes. And it's all because you don't want to be seen by people from the church. Let's hear that first part again.
That clears it up. You're trying to figure out if you're going to heaven or not? You're not going to heaven if you need somebody. You're concerned if somebody's going to see you from the church.
He's saying here unequivocally, he's not backing up or anything, you are not going to heaven. I'd really like to know which verse of scripture he yanked and mangled and strangled out of context to come up with that one.
That clears it up. You're trying to figure out if you're going to heaven or not? That clears it up. You're trying to figure out if you're going to heaven or not? That clears it up. You're trying to figure out if you're going to heaven or not? You're not going to heaven if you need somebody. You're concerned if somebody's going to see you from the church.
This sounds like a real works-based salvation to me. You're not going to heaven if you're concerned that someone's going to see you from the church. We don't even know why. It could be context in the whole message, but this is the 1-minute YouTube short that he chose to put out there. That's all we have to go by.
You with me? I'm just going to drive it all the way home. Not to confuse anybody. Because God sees everything. There's no fear of God before your eyes. Again?
So still doesn't make any sense. There's no fear of God before your eyes. He's driving this home. He's driving it all the way. He doesn't want you to be confused. And yet it's very confusing. Because in this 1-minute short, we don't know why are they not wanting people to see them from the church. Well, let's see. There has to be more clues.
We need Jesus in our homes again. That means we got to do it with character.
Really not sure if he split this up. It doesn't seem to be edited. Or this was his train of thought. And none of it's very, very disjointed.
Integrity. Doing what's right when nobody's looking. It shouldn't matter who sees you at Walmart.
What in the world is going on at the Walmart in Portland, Oregon? My first thought is maybe someone isn't dressed holiness according to the man-made standards of NTCC, because they're real big on that. So more works. But we don't know. That's just a presumption on my part from knowing this crowd for years and years and years. What in the world is somebody doing at Walmart? Are they performing sex acts in the aisle? I mean, it makes it sound like it's really, really awful.
Some of y'all, you need the pastor to hold your hand to do right. You're not saved. You hear me? You always say, well, I wasn't a pastor. Let me make sure you're not saved. You listening?
He sounds like an overboard, strict dad, just like Heckel, just like Davis, just like Hanson, talking to children. He's talking to children right now. When you treat people like children, when you do not have an environment where people should be able to grow in the word and become teachers, they can't because they get this. He's going to reprimand them for wanting their hand to be held by the pastor, and yet the whole environment is about, I'm going to show you what to do. Take my hand, I'll lead you. Come on. Like the dad or the mom that yanks their kid. Let's go. Let's get out of here. That's the attributes that he's portraying. And I don't think I'm far off. What does that even mean? You need the pastor to hold your hand. You're not saved if you need the pastor to hold your hand. What does that mean? He doesn't define it. These are the little clips he chose to share. He sounds mean, and he sounds unreasonable, and there's nothing biblical, not an ounce of it from what he says.
I'm going to say it one more time. If you need the pastor to hold your hand, you're not saved. That clears it up. You're trying to figure out if you're going to heaven or not?
Yeah, throw that Jesus' love stuff out the window. Just like Henson doesn't like to do that either.
You can take your Jesus is love stuff and see if it holds up on that day. I'll take genuine salvation.
Forget John 3:16. Forget all of it. God's watching, and he saw you in Walmart, and he knows your heart. And now you want to hold the pastor's hand. You want him to hold your hand. We don't even know what that means. We have no idea. There is no definition. And yet, this is going to keep you out of heaven. You're not saved. And the other thing about Walmart, that's going to keep you out of heaven, and you're not saved. But yet, no definitions, no specifics. He's making this up as he goes along. That's what he's doing. And there's nothing defined. And this guy's making stuff up. People are sitting there saying amen. Yep, that's right. They're doing it because this is the environment he has created. And he just takes all kinds of liberties here. Not one of them is biblical. Not one.
You're not going to heaven if you need somebody. You're concerned if somebody's going to see you from the church. You with me? I'm just going to drive it all the way home. Not to confuse anybody. Because God sees everything. There's no fear of God before your eyes. Again?
I think it's a compelling thought that he does not have the fear of God before his eyes. He does not have what he is expecting of those. He has to say these things. It's the only way he can get compliance. Because there is no faith here. There is no love here. It is void of that. If you believe there's a God who inhabits the words of the Bible, this whole clip is void of it. Void. A black hole. There's more truth probably in a black hole than there is in this place. He has no fear because his mind is set. He just comes out there. There is no recoiling. There's no stepping back and catching himself. When someone steps back and is self-aware and is searching themselves and has humility and is a servant, not a tyrant, when they do all of those things, then it will be delivered in love, in firmness, in strength, in confidence, in faith, in grace, in love. It's the opposite of what you're witnessing right here.
We need Jesus in our homes again. That means we got to do it with character, integrity, doing what's right when nobody's looking. It shouldn't matter who sees you at Walmart. Some of y'all, you need the pastor to hold your hand to do right.
This is a little bit more info. Some of you need the pastor to hold your hand to do right. Again, he brings up Walmart. So you know what? It makes me think the way NTCC works is he's preaching at someone in particular who's there. Or the person isn't there. He's preaching to everyone else that he knows about it, and he's telling them that person's not saved. So that it could go either way, either directly to the person or indirectly letting everyone else know. And then it puts the fear in everyone else that, oh man, this dude's just going to put it out there. And if they stay, and if they stay, and if they keep staying, and they keep going along with it, and they keep being coerced, before long, they're not thinking for themselves. There is no critical thinking, because that will be equated to being ungodly and sending you to hell too. You cannot win with a group like this at all. It's not godly. It's not the Bible. I dare you to find where it is in the Bible. What if somebody needs the pastor to hold their hand to do right? Why is he coming at them like this instead of in a loving manner? Like, if you're struggling, man, if you're having a hard time, I'll pray for you. I'll pray with you. I'll help you along the way. Let's do this. Let's get you to heaven. Let's all go to heaven together. No, that's not what this group does. They can't. It's not the fabric of this group. It's not how it was started. And it's definitely not how it has continued. It's definitely not. And I want you to not forget this. He chose this clip. He chose it. He wanted it to be out there. Why? Why this one? Why such an unloving, unbiblical clip? Why? What is that going to do for anyone that sees it?
You're not saved. You hear me?
Another sign that this person doesn't self-reflect and thinks this behavior is okay and sanctioned by God, that he says he believes in from his KJV Bible, is that he didn't pull it down. He didn't look at it and say, man, that's terrible. Why did I put that up there? Why did I pick that? Did no one say to him, why did you put that there? Why did you preach that? Anyway, this is another poster child of NTCC. We'll put him right up there in the gallery with Crane, with Gandy, with Denton, with Kinson, with Keckle. Put them all up there. You're seeing what they're about. And I could throw a bunch of clips of Keckle together in here and say, this is where he got it from. This is one of the people he learned it from in Bible school. You can just go on my YouTube channel and see them. Just go look at them. Just go listen. You have to be brave to listen. Honestly do. I understand that. It's not easy. It's not easy to be in and make that move to read or to listen to things. But you must. Don't you want to have your own mind, your own thoughts? You believe the God of the Bible you believe in can reach you through that veneer? I don't know. You'd think that's a thing. And if you're someone who's been invited to this place, this is not where you want to go. You're not going to grow. You're not going to learn anything. You'll be love bombed for a while, but if you do not line up, look what happens. Over. You're going to be told every turn, you're going to hell, you're going to hell, you're going to hell, you're going to hell, you are not saved, you are not saved. You know what I'm saying? You listening to me? Come on. It's time to wake up. And after not just listening to this young man, but so many others, how do you reconcile that with yourself? That this is right? How? You have to ask yourself.